You're 7 years old. Your father just handed you over to a man you've never seen before in your life, a feudal lord from distant lands. He didn't ask if you wanted to go. You had no say in the matter. This isn't punishment, and it isn't abandonment. In fact, this is the greatest gift a noble father could give you at this time in history. This is the beginning of your training to become a knight. 14 years from now, if you survive everything that's coming, you'll be knighted in a sacred ceremony. But the key word here is, if you survive. As a page, your day starts before sunrise. You wake up in the cold, polish rusty armor, serve at the adults' table without sitting down, tend to the horses, haul firewood, and scrub the stone floors of the castle. You get hit when you make mistakes. You get hit when you're too slow. You get hit simply to learn how to take pain without making a sound. Because on the battlefield, there's no time to cry, and a soldier who whimpers is a soldier who gets everyone else killed. By 10, you already know how to handle a basic sword. By 12, you ride better than most adults. At 14, if your lord decides you're ready, you become a squire. Now the danger level jumps. You're no longer training inside the castle. You're going into real battles, carrying your knight's armor, holding his horse, running for water and arrows in the middle of absolute chaos. And if your knight dies in combat, you probably die with him. Because the enemy doesn't spare squires. At 21, after 14 years of brutal training, you're finally knighted. The ceremony is beautiful. You kneel before your lord, receive the sword, and rise as a new man. But the reality of battle has nothing to do with ceremony. A full suit of knight's armor weighed around 66 pounds. 66 pounds of metal that you wear in a European summer, where temperatures can easily top 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Knights died from heat exhaustion and dehydration before a single arrow ever touched them. And when the arrows did come, the armor covered the torso and head reasonably well, but left the neck, armpits, inner knees, and elbow joints completely exposed. Medieval archers trained for years to aim at exactly those spots. On top of that, if you fell off your horse with all that armor on, getting back up by yourself was nearly impossible. Knights who hit the ground were often simply executed where they lay, by enemy foot soldiers with short daggers slipped through the gaps in the metal. Glory? That's only in the books. But a knight's greatest enemy was often not standing on the other side of the battlefield. He was standing right inside the castle walls. You swore total loyalty to your lord. You fought his wars, killed for him, spent months away from home for him. And in return, he could reward you with land, money, and prestige. Or he could decide you were becoming too powerful, that your lands were worth more in someone else's hands, that a false accusation of treason was enough to have you eliminated. In the Middle Ages, a nobleman could order a knight executed with no trial, no process, no chance to defend himself. One word was all it took, and it happened with terrifying regularity. The historical records are full of knights who served with total loyalty their entire lives and were killed by the very hand that had knighted them. Loyalty was a one-way street, and you were always the weaker side of the deal. And outside of battles and betrayals, your everyday life wasn't much more comfortable. Maintaining the status of a knight cost a fortune. War horses needed to be fed, shod, and trained constantly. Armor required ongoing maintenance. Servants needed to be paid. Without war, without plunder, without rewards from your lord, you were broke and in debt. You slept in a cold, damp castle where wind cut through the gaps in the stone walls all winter long. You ate poorly preserved meat, hard bread, sometimes mixed with sawdust just to stretch the portions further. A bath was a weekly luxury at best. Toothache? They'd pull the tooth with pliers, no anesthesia, and pray it didn't get infected. The average life expectancy of a knight in active combat was under 35 years. Meanwhile, a peasant who managed to avoid disease in battle could make it to 50. Movies show knights as invincible heroes draped in honor and glory, fighting for noble causes. The historical reality is something else entirely. You were an expensive, disposable human weapon, your lord's property, living in constant pain, under permanent threat from enemies, allies, and your own body. You trained from the age of 7 to die in battle before you turned 35. And the worst part? You thought it was normal, because it was the only life you had ever known. If you were born a knight in medieval times, you'd probably already be dead, and you would have died believing it was the greatest privilege in the world.